Commander Kesafara stood before the primary display aboard his warship. His 4 eyes studied the 3 human vessels drifting slowly through space. They resembled ordinary cargo haulers, large, sluggish, and defenseless. Ideal prey for his hunting fleet. "Report!" Kesafara clicked to his crew, the sharp chattering of Zephyrian speech filling the bridge. "3 human ships, Commander," replied the scanner officer. "Merchant class, no escorts, no visible armaments." Kesafara's mandibles shifted in what humans might call a smile. For many cycles, his people had prowled this sector, plundering goods, selling captives, and erasing ships. Profitable work. Humanity was new to the stars, making them simple targets. "What intelligence do we have on them?" he asked. The intel officer checked a data pad. "Recently spacefaring, Commander, barely 50 years beyond their home system. Technology unsophisticated, weapons primitive. They still wage war planet-side with chemical explosives and metal projectiles." Laughter rippled across the bridge. Chemical explosives. How quaint. Zephyrian energy cannons could slice through armor as if through water. "Excellent," Kesafara said. "Signal the fleet. We'll encircle and demand their surrender. If they resist, destroy one. Fear will claim the others." Aboard the human ship USS Liberty, Captain Jake Morrison sat in the command chair. Tall, with close-cropped brown hair and calm blue eyes, he was a veteran of many battles. His crew trusted him without question. "Sir," called Amy Rodriguez from navigation. "Alien ships are maneuvering to surround us." Jake's gaze sharpened. "Count?" 12, sir. Zephyrian raiders." On the main display, the enemy formation closed in, like wolves herding prey. "Open a channel to Frontier and Pioneer." 2 faces appeared. Captain Lisa Kane, red-haired with green eyes, a former fighter pilot, and Captain Ben Hayes, older, gray-haired, his face lined with scars from an old blast. "Company," Lisa said calmly, though her eyes gleamed. 12 ships, Ben confirmed, just as intel predicted. Jake smiled faintly. "Crews ready?" "Eager," Lisa replied. "My people want their turn," Ben added. The 3 ships drifted on, all but inviting pursuit. To Zephyrian eyes, they were harmless freighters, bulky frames, cavernous cargo bays, modest crew sections, no weapons, no armor, no insignia. Appearances, however, could be deceiving. Aboard Liberty, Ryan Clark sat at a console disguised as cargo controls, fingers gliding over weapon systems hidden within false freight containers. "Weapons ready," he murmured. "Good," Jake said. "Wait for my mark." In engineering, Chief Kelly Roberts monitored her readings. From the outside, Liberty's drives looked antiquated, but inside she had built something the Zephyrians would never anticipate. "Power nominal. Special systems primed," she reported. On Frontier, Lieutenant Tony Martinez ran parallel checks. Beneath, its freighter hull lay reinforced armor and missile pods masked as cargo crates. The Zephyrian formation drew tighter. Commander Kesafara relished the ease of the hunt. The humans made no evasive move, coasting like cattle toward slaughter. "Open a channel," he ordered. The comms officer complied. "Channel live, Commander." Kesafara straightened, voice cold. "Humans, this is Commander Kesafara of the Zephyrian hunting fleet. You are surrounded. Shut down your drives and prepare to be boarded. Comply, and some of you may survive." On Liberty's bridge, Jake listened as the translator turned. Alien clicks into words. Around him, Amy was poised at navigation, Ryan at weapons. Every station was ready. Calm and composed, Jake tapped the comm switch. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the human vessel Liberty. We are peaceful merchants en route to the colonies. We seek no conflict." Quafara's mandibles clicked in mocking laughter. "Conflict has already found you, human. You have 30 seconds to yield." Jake's eyes swept the tactical display. The Zephyrians were exactly where he wanted them, close enough for precision, but not so near as to interfere. "Perfect alignment, Amy," he murmured. "Signal all ships." Amy pressed a single control. A coded transmission flashed to Frontier and Pioneer, 3 simple words: "Spring the trap." Jake leaned back, smiling faintly. The hunters thought they stalked harmless prey. They had no inkling they were about to meet the truth behind an old human saying, "There are no unarmed human ships, only ships you haven't yet seen fight." The countdown ticked. 20 seconds. 15. 10. The Zephyrians readied to obliterate one ship as a warning. The humans prepared to demonstrate why striking at Earth's kin was a fatal error. Time expired. Commander Cesara studied the human formation. No surrender. No evasive action, only a slow, steady course, as if oblivious to danger. "They're even more foolish than expected," the weapons officer sneered. "Fire a warning shot across their lead vessel," Cesara ordered. A bright blue lance of energy carved through space, flashing just ahead of Liberty. On Liberty's bridge, Jake watched it pass. "First shot's theirs," he said evenly. "Amy, you record that?" "Confirmed, sir," Rodriguez replied. "We have proof of hostile fire." Jake keyed the comm again. "Zephyrian Commander, you have attacked a peaceful merchant ship. That was a mistake." Kashera's chittering laugh returned. "Only a warning, human. The next will strike true. Surrender now." "Not happening," Jake said flatly, then addressed his crew. "All stations, battle alert. Show them what a human warship looks like." Ryan Clark's hands flew over his panel. "Weapons hot, sir. Dropping disguise." All along Liberty's hull, panels retracted. Containers, once holding cargo, revealed missile bays and energy batteries. Hull sections split to expose layered armor, concealed turrets deployed. On Frontier, Captain Lisa Caney gave her order. "Drop the act. Let them see the truth." Entire cargo modules detached, revealing a ship bristling with railguns and heavy launchers, its missile pods unfurling like deadly blooms. Pioneer mirrored the change. Ben Hayes watching as his crew armed a full suite of weapons and engaged layered defenses. In less than 30 seconds, 3 docile freighters had become instruments of war. The Zephyrians stared at their readings, in disbelief. "Impossible," muttered the scanner officer. "They were cargo ships. Our scans showed no arms." "Scan again," Cesara demanded, his voice edged with fear. The data returned undeniable. Each human vessel could challenge an entire fleet, armor impervious to their weapons, shields stronger than any Zephyrian design. "Commander," comms reported, "another human transmission incoming." Jake's voice rolled over the bridge speakers, calm, but edged with steel. "Zephyrian fleet, you have fired upon human ships and endangered human lives. This is your sole warning. Leave now. Turn back." Anger surged through Kashera, displacing fear. He was Zephyrian, conqueror of dozens of species. He would not retreat. From 3 ships, regardless of their armament. "All ships," he ordered fleet-wide. "Attack the humans. Destroy them." 12 Zephyrian warships unleashed their fury in unison. Beams and plasma-tipped missiles lit the void between the forces. The strike was immense. Powerful enough to obliterate a space station, the Zephyrian volley engulfed the human ships in blinding fire. For a moment, Kasatha believed victory was his. But as the blasts faded, all 3 human vessels remained, their shields glowing an intense blue, untouched. "How is that possible?" the weapons officer demanded. The reply came swiftly. Liberty struck back. On Frontier, Tony Martinez activated point defense arrays, unleashing hundreds of rapid-fire cannons that shredded incoming missiles before impact. Energy strikes splashed harmlessly against his shields like rain on glass. "Point defense optimal," Tony reported to Captain Kane. "Their fire can't penetrate." Lisa Caney's smile was sharp. "Good. Now let's return the favor. All batteries, fire!" Frontier's railguns roared, hurling metal slugs at such velocity the Zephyrian shields failed instantly. 2 enemy ships erupted in fire. Pioneer joined in next. Captain Ben Hayes targeted engines deliberately. Disable, leave them adrift. His missiles twisted and weaved like living predators, dodging enemy countermeasures. On impact, they released EMP bursts that gutted power systems. Without detonating, 3 Zephyrian ships went dark, spinning helpless in space. Finally, it was Liberty's turn. Jake Morrison had been tracking the enemy flagship. Ryan, target their command. 1 precision shot straight through the bridge. Ryan Clark locked in. Liberty's unique weapon, a hyper-focused energy beam no wider than a hair yet carrying the power of a star, fired. It punched through shields as if they weren't there, sliced armor like paper, and speared the bridge in a single strike. Kasatha and his entire command crew died instantly. Systems collapsed in under 2 minutes. Half the Zephyrian hunting fleet was gone. Those still mobile attempted to flee, but damaged drives left them crawling. Captain Caney's voice carried. Over open comms. Zephyrian vessels. This is Captain Lisa Caney of the human ship Frontier. You attacked without provocation. You threatened peaceful merchants. This is the price. She paused. Surrender and live, or fight and be destroyed. You have 30 seconds. Those able to move fled at maximum speed. Crippled ships transmitted. Surrender. On Liberty, Jake leaned back. Well, that was easier than expected. Amy Rodriguez glanced at her scans. Sir, multiple ships inbound, many more. Jake nodded. Reinforcements. They must have signaled before we cut their comms. Lisa's voice came through. Round 2's inbound. Ben Hayes added. Good. My crew's just warming up. On their tactical displays, more contacts appeared, far more. But none of the human captains were concerned. The Zephyrians had just learned their first lesson. Many more awaited. Admiral Vex Karen received the emergency report mid-meal. His aide burst in, breathless. Admiral, urgent! There's a problem. The hunting fleet at Kepler Junction is under attack. Vex Karan, older than most Zephyrians and undefeated in over 40 years of space combat, set down his utensil. Type of attack? Humans, sir. 3 cargo ships destroyed half of Commander Kesathara's force. He froze. 3 cargo ships? Impossible. Humans have no proper navy. Their ships are primitive. The aide handed him a datapad. Karan's eyes widened as he read, anger and disbelief mixing. Ready my fleet. All ships. We depart in 1 hour. How many, Admiral? All of them. 30 will suffice, no matter their tricks. While Vex Karen mobilized, the 3 human ships moved from the battle site, slipping into an asteroid field near Kepler Junction. They weren't merely hiding, they were preparing. In Liberty's vast cargo bay, among stacked containers and equipment, most crates held anything but freight. Chief Roberts, how's prep? Jake asked. Chief Engineer Kelly Roberts, wiping oil from her hands, replied, Almost there, Captain. The crew's been at it 6 hours straight. Jake surveyed the busy deck as his people dismantled the fake cargo containers were stripped for parts, transformed into new creations, primarily weapons, many weapons. Status on the special project? Jake asked. Kelly grinned. Danny Foster came up with a beauty. We're converting the containers into massive kinetic payloads, packing them with metal fragments, and launching them at enemy ships like colossal shotgun blasts. Nearby, Danny Foster worked on one such container, sleeves rolled up over muscular arms. Before enlisting, he had been an engineer designing mining gear. Captain, Danny said, glancing up, each one holds 2 tons of metal shards. When they detonate, it's like hitting them with 1,000,000 bullets at once. Jake gave an approving nod. Excellent. How many? 50, sir, with current parts. Should be plenty. On USS Frontier, Captain Lisa Caney had a different task. She stood beside Kate Johnson in the comms room. "Any progress breaking their encryption?" Lisa asked. Kate, short-haired, sharp-eyed, and experienced with alien transmissions, answered while typing furiously. "Almost there. Their code's solid, but not impenetrable." Symbols and digits streamed across her display until she suddenly smiled. "Done. I can intercept all messages and send false ones." Lisa's eyes gleamed. "When reinforcements arrive, I want chaos. Big chaos." Kate's grin widened. "Zephyrian ships use automated target sharing. If I spoof the right signals, they'll fire on each other." Lisa's smile deepened. "I like your thinking." Aboard USS Pioneer, Captain Ben Hayes met with Dr. Sam Parker, a combat veteran turned medic. She could mend wounds or exploit weaknesses. "Doctor, study the wreckage. Find vulnerabilities," Ben said. "Looking for soft spots?" she asked. "Exactly. We were lucky before. This round will be tougher." Sam nodded. "Already found one. Centralized power. Hit this point," she indicated a hologram's rear section, "and the whole vessel shuts down. Less protected than their main guns." Ben grinned. "I'll brief the others." The three captains conferred by video. Old friends, they'd fought side by side many times. "Intel says 30 ships incoming," Jake said. 10 times our last engagement." "They'll expect standard fleet tactics," Lisa replied. "Let's be unpredictable." Ben eyed the asteroid field map. "We know this ground. They don't. What if we avoid a straight fight?" Jake leaned forward. "Pirate tactics, hit and fade from cover." Lisa's eyes lit. "Space guerrilla warfare. Perfect." Ben added, "We'll split up. Look like we're fleeing. Lure them into the rocks where their big ships can't maneuver." Jake nodded. "Then we unleash Danny's kinetic strikes, Kate's comms sabotage, everything." They planned for 2 more hours. Amy Rodriguez broke the news first. 30 ships closing fast. ETA 20 minutes. Jake scanned his crew. Ready eyes met his. The Liberty's bays brimmed with improvised armaments. Systems were tuned for maximum combat. "Listen up," Jake's voice echoed shipwide. "This fight's bigger than us. It's about showing the galaxy humans aren't easy prey." "Kinetic rounds locked," Ryan Clark confirmed. "Engines at peak," Kelly Roberts added. On Frontier, preparations were complete. Kate stood ready to scramble enemy comms. Tony Martinez had upgraded point defense to SWAT missiles and fighters alike. On Pioneer, Ben's crew finished loading cargo containers, camouflaged as freight but packed with mining explosives. At the asteroid field's edge, Admiral Vex Karan's 30-ship fleet emerged. Confidence radiated from him. "They're only 3 ships. Weapons or not, they won't last." He gave the order. "Scan the field. Locate them." The human ships. "Sir, scanners detect 3 vessels deep within the asteroid belt. They seem to be fleeing." Vexarin's 4 mouths curled into a predator's smile. "Perfect. They're trapped. Surround the field. When they try to run, we'll crush them." But as his fleet closed in, Admiral Vexarin repeated Commander Cassia's fatal error, believing he hunted prey when, in truth, he entered humanity's deadliest trap. Aboard his flagship Crushing Fang, Vexarin stared at the jagged asteroid maze filling the main display. 30 Zephyrian warships encircled it like a net around cornered prey. "Report," he ordered. "All ships in position, Admiral." "The humans can't escape without crossing our guns." Vexarin nodded. "And they can't fight effectively from inside the rocks. Any shot will strike stone, not us." He didn't know the humans had spent 8 hours arming the asteroids. Chief Engineer Carl Rodriguez, Amy Rodriguez's brother, had laced 47 massive rocks with demolition charges. A mining demolition expert before joining the fleet, Carl knew exactly how to turn space debris into lethal shrapnel. Charges set on 47 asteroids, Carl reported to Captain Hayes. Excellent, Carl. Stand by, Hayes replied. Meanwhile, on USS Frontier, pilot Nia Clark, Amy's younger sister and a genius navigator, had mapped every possible course through the belt. She could thread a ship through space's computers called impossible. 17 escape routes, 23. Attack vectors, she told Captain Caney. This one, Lisa said, pointing at a narrow gap. Could the Pioneer make it? Barely, Nia smirked, but Hayes can fly it. From outside, the humans looked cornered. Vexerin opened a channel. Humans, this is Admiral Vexerin. You're surrounded. Surrender, and your deaths will be swift. Captain Morrison of the Liberty replied evenly, We're peaceful traders. Why attack us? You destroyed half of Commander Cathler's fleet. An act of war. They attacked us first, Jake answered. It doesn't matter. You'll all die. Advance. 30 Zephyrian ships plunged in. First in, the destroyer Bloody Talon spotted what seemed to be the Pioneer. It fired, obliterating the target, only to realize it had hit a decoy of scrap and plating. Before the captain could react, the real Pioneer fired a missile straight into its power core, rendering it dead in space. Elsewhere, human ships appeared and vanished like wraiths, firing and slipping behind cover before counterfire landed. On the Frontier, Kate Johnson flooded Zephyrian comms with lies, making them fire on phantoms and even each other. 2 enemy ships now think they're under mutual attack, she grinned. Excellent, Lisa said. Status? 26 left. We've disabled 4 without a scratch. For 2 hours, Zephyrians grew frustrated, striking empty space and stone. How can 3 ships evade 30? Vexerin raged. They know the field better than us, sir, his officer stammered. Then we'll destroy it. Pull back. Ready heavy guns. The Zephyrians retreated to bombard the belt. Against any normal foe, the plan would work. But humans weren't normal. They're pulling back, Amy reported to Morrison. Perfect. Carl? Ready. Carl triggered all 47 charges. Explosions ripped through the belt in a calculated chain reaction, flinging house-sized chunks of rock into every direction. The debris surged toward the Zephyrian fleet with terrifying velocity, battering their ships like a storm of colossal projectiles. Their shields, tuned for energy weapons, were useless against massive rock fragments traveling at such speeds. One after another, alien vessels were crippled or destroyed. Admiral! The Crushing Fangs comms officer shouted. Distress calls from 12 ships. 7 request immediate retreat. Vexerin's eyes tracked the chaos on screen. Half his fleet gone or wrecked, the remainder scattered and panicked. Somewhere in the dust cloud, the humans still waited. Impossible, he muttered. Just merchants. They shouldn't fight like this. Sir, his tactical officer said, the human ships are moving again. Through the drifting debris emerged 3 shapes, USS Liberty, USS Frontier, and USS Pioneer, flying in flawless formation. They had hidden behind the largest asteroids. During the blasts, emerging now for the kill, Captain Lisa Caney hailed the Zephyrians. Admiral, you came to hunt what you thought were harmless traders. How does it feel to be the prey? Vexerin remained silent, staring at the ruin of his forces. In under 3 hours, 30 ships had become fewer than 15, damaged, scattered, morale shattered. The humans advanced, calm, weapons primed, turning certain doom into total reversal. Hunters had become hunted, and the pursuit was far from over. Watching his forces crumble, Vexerin thought of his 40 years in command. Never had he seen such a rout. Admiral, his comms officer prompted. Remaining captains request orders. On screen, the human ships moved like predators through wreckage. Pull back! All ships retreat to maximum range! The Zephyrians attempted to regroup, but too many were crippled, engines gone, weapons wrecked. The asteroid shrapnel had done worse damage than any firefight. On the Liberty, Captain Morrison studied the faltering enemy. "They're retreating, regrouping," he said. "Shall we let them?" asked Ryan Clark. Amy scanned the flagship. "Main vessel's untouched, kept clear during the bombardment." "That's their command ship," Jake realized. "Take it out and the rest break." But the flagship was huge, deadly, and capable of vaporizing any human ship with a clean shot. Then Captain Caney's voice came through. "Jake, what if we use the same trick as in the asteroid field?" "Misdirection?" Jake asked. "Exactly. Ben and I attack head-on. Make noise. You slip behind, take their engines." Ben Hayes joined in. "I'm in. Damaged. But we can still fight." Greg Thompson, Morrison's quiet tactical specialist, had been dissecting the flagship's design all battle. "Greg," Jake said, "find anything?" "A flaw. Their propulsion relies on a central distributor, armored but with one thinner section." Jake leaned over the tactical display. "Show me." Greg highlighted a slim zone on the flagship's rear. "Hit it precisely, and their engines die. Can you make that shot?" "Yes, sir," Greg replied without hesitation. Greg had been calculating the shot for over an hour. The three human ships launched their final strike. Frontier and Pioneer surged toward the enemy fleet head-on, guns roaring. To the Zephyrians, it looked like a reckless frontal charge. Vexarin glimpsed hope for the first time. "At last, they're fighting like ordinary ships. All vessels, concentrate fire on those two." The Zephyrian guns blazed, energy and plasma saturating the void. But the two human ships weren't trying to break the fleet. They were bait. Caney and Hayes weaved in evasive arcs, dodging most salvos, answering with just enough fire to keep every enemy eye fixed on them. Meanwhile, Morrison piloted the Liberty in a wide flank, threading through asteroid wreckage for cover. The Zephyrians, consumed by the main attack, never noticed the lone predator circling behind. "We're set," Jake told his crew. "Greg, you ready?" Greg's hands moved with surgical precision over targeting controls. His display showed the weak point on the massive flagship, a few meters across on a kilometer-long vessel. "Target locked," Greg reported. "Fire," Jake ordered. The Liberty's main gun fired once. The beam crossed the gap in an instant, striking the exact spot. Armor gave way, and the flagship's engine distributor erupted. Vexarin felt the deck shudder as his ship went dead in space. "Engineering!" he barked. "Engines gone, Admiral! Distributor destroyed! We're adrift!" It hit him. The third human ship had slipped behind while the rest of his fleet fought a feint. The flagship was a helpless prize. Jake opened fleet-wide. Comms. "Attention. Zephyrian vessels. This is Captain Morrison of the Liberty. Your flagship is crippled, your fleet scattered and damaged. Surrender, and you may live." The remaining Zephyrian guns fell silent. Crews listened. "You came hunting. Helpless merchants," Jake continued. "You've learned there are no helpless humans. Every ship fights. Every crew is trained for war." Vexarin understood now. These were warriors wearing a merchant's mask. The entire cargo disguise had been bait. "You will go home," Jake said. "You will tell your people that attacking humans is suicide." Captain Lisa Caney added, "Any Zephyrian ship that comes for us will meet the same fate. We don't start fights, but we finish them. With his forces ruined, surrender was the only path left." "This is Admiral Vexarin." "We surrender," he said over open comms. "Wise choice," Jake replied. "Recover your people and leave. Never return to human space." The Zephyrians began rescue ops, gathering survivors from the wrecks. 6 hours later, they limped away, entering the asteroid field as proud hunters, leaving as shattered survivors, carrying a warning that would echo through the galaxy. On the Liberty, Jake watched them vanish into hyperspace. I'd say that went well. Amy plotted their course. Destination, Captain? The Century colonies. We have real cargo to deliver. Sir, Ryan asked from weapons, should we look like cargo ships again? Jake considered, then shook his head. No. Word's going to spread. Let them see what our ships really are. The 3 human ships formed up, leaving behind wreckage that would serve as a permanent warning. In Zephyrian space, Vexarin's report sent shockwaves. Through command, 30 warships humbled by 3 human vessels with unknown tactics and weapons. Orders went out. Avoid human ships. Do not attack. Do not even approach without clearance. Other alien powers heard similar whispers. Humans were not the frail primitives they'd been thought to be. They were far more dangerous. In human space, the event was logged as a minor pirate skirmish, 3 cargo ships defending themselves. But the truth was understood. There were no unarmed humans in space. Every traveler was ready to fight, and across the galaxy, the message spread. Humans might appear peaceful, but attacking them was the last mistake anyone would ever make. Merchant. Ships traveled on, appearing harmless, acting friendly, until provoked. Then, as the Zephyrians learned, when humans fight, they don't just win. They ensure their enemies never return.